we need some people. But we just don't need any and everybody. We need some people who will also come to us with their investments and who will then be able to create opportunities for us locally here in New Zealand, which is where the business visa categories of Immigration New Zealand come into the picture. My name is Arun Jacob, and I am an expert immigration advisor. I am licensed by the Government of New Zealand, and that gives me the legal ability to be able to talk about the different kinds of business visas and various other visas that are available for you to come into New Zealand. We are a far-flung country, a little emerald or a little gem in the southern Pacific Ocean. Beautiful country, verdant, green, and I'm so proud to call it home. But one thing we lack is not enough population, for a country that is geographically as big as Japan or UK or California. We only have 5 million people living here. So there's a lot of place and we need some people. But we just don't need any and everybody. We need some people who will also come to us with their investments and who will then be able to create opportunities for us locally here in New Zealand. So let's examine all the different categories of business possibilities and business visas that are available for you as a prospective migrant to New Zealand under the business category. Right, number one, we have something called the investor category. Now in this, again, they have further bifurcated it into investor one and investor two. The other important thing about immigration is that money and time and effort are opposing forces, and the more money you're able to invest to be able to move into a country, it takes lesser time and lesser complexity. So in the investor one category, the Government of New Zealand, by way of its immigration policy, desires and expects somebody who is willing to come into that category to be able to invest a sum of 10 million New Zealand dollars into our economy, into acceptable investments. It's a reasonably straightforward pathway. And the only thing, of course, is that there's 10 million of funds. It can't be money that has come through, nefarious activities. So the process of immigration will check to see that the money is legally owned and legally earned as well. So if you are able to have this $10 million with you, then you will potentially qualify for investor one category. And like I said, because it's a reasonably high investment, the time taken and the complexity is not very high. But if you do not have the $10 million in place and you only can afford or have only up to $3 million as an investment, then there is something called the investor two category. But as I stated already, money and time and effort and complexity are opposing forces. So if you are opting for the investor two category, obviously the amount of time and effort and complexity also goes up quite significantly. If you do not have funds in the millions of dollars and you want to step it down a little bit, we have something called the entrepreneur category. Now, the entrepreneur category does not require you to have millions of dollars. It could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And in certain instances, subject to scrutiny by experts within Immigration New Zealand, they could potentially also waive the investment that is required, provided you're coming in with a business plan which is really, really up there and which can improve our export industries or can create new and innovative products and services for us here in New Zealand. And of course, not to forget that you will also be able to create employment for us here in New Zealand. Those are the kind of things that the person assessing your application will look for. Now, there is a third category under business, which is quite interesting. This is called the Global Impact Visa. Now, this particular category is meant for those people in business who have come out with a product or service which can have a significant impact on the global community that we live in. But again, this is not a very easy process, and this particular visa category is actually handled in conjunction with somebody called the Edmund Hillary Foundation. And what the Edmund Hillary Foundation does is it advertises and seeks applications from different parts of the world from people who are involved in business with a product or service which can have a significant impact on the globe or on this earth, on this world as a whole. So these are your three business visa categories under Immigration New Zealand. And my sincere advice to anybody, whether you're planning to come in as an investor, one or two, whether you're planning to come in as an entrepreneur, or you're planning to come in under the Global Impact Visa category, I would say seek some good expert advice, because before you invest millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, it would make sense to engage a good expert who would then be able to work with you and see that you are on the right track and not going to do investments or unfruitful forays into the business scenario here in New Zealand. So my sincere advice to all of you who is planning or through coming to New Zealand through one of the business categories is seek good expert advice and continue to follow this channel, because we will keep coming up with more and more updates on topics like this. But otherwise, keep your dreams of going abroad alive, especially here in New Zealand. We need your investments and your business ideas as much as you want to come to New Zealand and establish yourself and your family here. So take care, and till the next time, this is Arun Jacob from Hamilton, New Zealand.